a serious yet accessible documentary. May 12, 1945, Tongdao, Burma. In a muddy trench, a young Gurkha soldier lies in agony. His right hand is gone, blown off by a Japanese grenade. His rifle is useless. He is bleeding profusely, and 200 enemy soldiers are charging his position. For any other man, this would be the end. But this was Lachhiman Gurung, and his fight was just beginning. What happened next is one of the most incredible feats of individual bravery in all of military history. This is the story of how one man, with one hand, held off an entire army. Could you fight with only one hand? This man did, and you won't believe how. Welcome to WW2 War Files. Today, we tell the story of a man whose courage defies belief. A story that proves the Gurkhas' famous motto, "Better to die than be a coward." Lachhiman Gurung was a young rifleman in the 8th Gurkha Rifles, a unit of the British Indian Army. He was small in stature, just 4 feet 11 inches tall, but he possessed the heart of a lion. In May 1945, the war in Europe was over, but the brutal fight against Japan continued in the jungles of Burma. Lachhiman's company was holding a key position north of the Irrawaddy River. He and 2 other soldiers were tasked with guarding the forwardmost trench, a position dangerously exposed to the enemy. For hours they waited in the darkness, listening to the sounds of the jungle. Then, at 1:20 a.m., all hell broke loose. At least 200 soldiers of the 33rd Army launched a furious assault on their position. The 2 soldiers with Lachhiman were severely wounded by the initial volley of grenades. Lachhiman was alone. Grenades began raining down into his trench. He knew he had to act. With incredible speed, he began picking up the live grenades and throwing them back at the enemy. He successfully threw back the first 2, but the third one was different. It exploded in his right hand. The blast blew off his fingers, shattered his arm, and peppered his face and body with shrapnel. He was blinded in his right eye. The pain was unimaginable. You've just lost your dominant hand. You're half blind and bleeding out. The enemy is charging. What is your next move? Surrender? Retreat? Tell us in the comments what you would do. Lachhiman Gurung did neither. He grabbed his rifle with his left hand and prepared to make his stand. For the next 4 hours, Lachhiman Gurung fought off the Japanese attack completely alone. He was a one-man army. He couldn't operate his bolt-action rifle effectively with one hand, so he used it as a single-shot weapon. He would load 1 round at a time with his left hand, take aim, fire, and then repeat the slow, agonizing process. Every time a Japanese soldier tried to enter his trench, he was met with a bullet. He screamed at the enemy, challenging them to come and face him. His defiance was as much a weapon as his rifle. The Japanese, expecting a terrified, wounded soldier, were instead met with the fury of a Gurkha warrior. He held his position, firing 1 shot at a time for 4 straight hours until dawn. When the sun rose, the battlefield was silent. His comrades, hearing the fighting had stopped, cautiously approached his trench. What they found was a scene of carnage. The trench was littered with spent cartridges, and surrounding the trench were the bodies of 31 Japanese soldiers. Lachhiman Gurung, the 4-foot 11-inch soldier with one hand, had single-handedly killed them all. He was found still at his post, clutching his rifle, shouting, "Come and fight!" He had refused to be evacuated, holding his ground until he was certain the threat was over. Only then did he allow himself to be carried to a medical station. This is pure, raw courage. What do you think gives a person this kind of strength? Is it training, patriotism, or something else entirely? Share your thoughts. Lachhiman Gurung's injuries were severe. He lost his right hand and the use of his right eye. His career as a soldier was over, but his legend was just beginning. For his incredible bravery, he was awarded the Victoria Cross, the highest and most prestigious award for gallantry in the face of the enemy that can be awarded to British and Commonwealth forces. His citation reads, "This rifleman, by his magnificent example, so inspired his comrades to resist that the enemy were completely repulsed. His outstanding gallantry and extreme devotion to duty in the face of almost overwhelming odds were beyond all praise." After the war, Lachhiman returned to his village in Nepal. He lived a simple life as a farmer. Despite his heroism, he, like many Gurkhas, faced hardship. He struggled to get by on a small army pension. In the 2000s, a campaign led by British actress Joanna Lumley fought for the right of Gurkha veterans to settle in the UK. Lachhiman Gurung became a prominent face of this campaign. In 2008, the British government finally granted Gurkhas who had served before 1997 the right to settle in the UK. It was a victory won not on the battlefield, but in the halls of power, thanks to the public pressure generated by the stories of heroes like Lachhiman Gurung. He moved to Hounslow, West London, where he was treated as a local hero. He lived a quiet life, a humble man who had performed one of the most superhuman acts of the war. Lachhiman Gurung passed away peacefully in 2010 at the age of 92. Lachhiman Gurung's story is a testament to the incredible spirit of the Gurkha soldiers. Do you know other stories of unbelievable courage from WW2? Share them in the comments below. Let's make sure these heroes are never forgotten. Lachhiman Gurung's story is more than just a tale of war. It's a story about the power of the human spirit to overcome impossible odds. It's a reminder that heroes come in all sizes, and that true strength is not measured by physical stature, but by the will to fight on, no matter the cost. He was a giant among men, a warrior who, with one hand, carved his name into the annals of history. Thank you for watching WW2 War Files. If you believe the stories of heroes like Lachhiman Gurung deserve to be heard, subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. We uncover the forgotten files of the war every week.